The other day we had some fun in the Redstone testing world and built this thing. It is a 4x4 vault door that has a glass center, and I got absolutely terrified then that that wasn't going to work. But this is the build. As you can see, it's a relatively big redstone contraption, and when it's open, all of the ugly bits get hidden away. So it's a very pretty redstone door, but it is... yeah, it's pretty massive and fairly complicated. However, it was a really fun project to work on. It had been quite some time since I took on a redstone challenge like this one, and it really whet my appetite, so I think we're going to do it again. What I want to do is I want to build a 3-wide hidden staircase. Now, this has been a project that has been on my list forever. I've always wanted to build one of these things, but I've never sat down and actually done it. So today is going to be the day, and straight away looking at it, I mean, I've tried laying out the pistons, and I don't even know how this is going to work. Just so you know, of course, there will be block swappers involved and things like that. We're not just going to have all of the stairs up on the surface like this. It is going to be a completely flat floor, so of course it is hidden. But I'm just trying to work out how to do the actual retraction, and I think I've come up with something. So what it is that those pistons spit out those pistons, so now it's sat up like this, and then what we need to do is get those pistons to spit out those blocks. We then need to extend this one and then extend this one, and now all of the blocks will be flush with the floor. So just imagine that these are in fact full blocks. But then to do the retraction, we need to do something a bit interesting. So we need to retract that, then we need to fire those pistons to retract that, and then we need to retract this one. And does this fire? Okay, it does. Then we need to fire this to retract those pistons out the way. And then we need to push this back up so that we can actually re-grab those stairs and bring them down to be a staircase. Oof. The good news is that I have pretty much simplified the whole thing. So if we just do this, then that is the closing, and then with a well-timed piston retraction, we can get that to happen. We can then power this and then press this and then do that again. And that's the whole lot. Things are getting pretty weird and wacky now, but I think I've come up with a way to do the other 2 sets of blocks. So the issue that I was running into is, of course, we're going to have sticky pistons here, and those are going to get stuck to those slime blocks. Now, originally, I was just going to power those things constantly because, of course, a powered piston is a movable object, but there's no way for me to power these pistons without it interacting with these pistons here, which obviously we don't want. So we're going to make them mobile, which is it's a bit of an oddball, but I mean, it could work. Now, I'm hoping that this should just work. So if we hit this button... right, that's perfect. Now, let me explain why that's perfect. Because you have to imagine that these have been swapped out for stairs. So you can see that we went from having full blocks to then when you swap out for the stair blocks, obviously the blocks that are in this position, the stairs have to be pushed back up again, which means that we need this motion happening. So we need the piston push, then the blocks get swapped across, and then they pop back up, and they swap out from being blocks to being stairs. And then I guess the same thing goes for, yeah, this side as well. That could be a problem, but I guess we only want it to happen... no, that works. Yeah, that definitely works. Sorry, I played a lot of Minecraft today, you know, and already my mind is a little bit frazzled with this one because there's some odd bits and pieces happening. But anyway, now it's time to move on from the slightly complicated extension and retraction circuits and actually take a look at the block swappers. So these are going to be pushing our stairs across and replacing them with blocks, and then eventually pushing the blocks across and replacing them with stairs so that we can go between having a flush floor to having a nice staircase. Now, as you can see, we're using triple piston extenders on both sides to push them back and forth, but then in the middle we've got a quad piston extender, which might seem a little bit strange until you notice this terracotta block. Now, I have to say, I am so happy that terracotta blocks exist, because without them this would be a completely impossible build. But what we need to do is this terracotta block needs to be there so that these slime blocks can just slide past it without sticking to it, because otherwise that would break the entire thing. And then of course once we've pushed across all of the stairs and they make their way there, the terracotta block will then sit on this side instead, which means that once again, yeah, we shouldn't run into the problems. It will just move straight past it. It's brilliant. Does this work? Appears to. It appears to work actually very nicely. But I guess the question is it going to hit the block push limit? No, it's not. This is also very pleasant news. I'm going to tentatively say that things are going well, but that's very easy to say when you haven't actually done any of the timing circuits yet. Now, we do have some very elegant solutions for the circuits themselves, but timing them together and getting this to function as a fluid contraption, as opposed to just a bunch of circuits that are independent of one another that aren't connected up, that's a whole nother can of worms, and that's what we're about to start work on. So yeah, wish me the best of luck, essentially. Alright, so in theory the first sequence should now all be hooked up. So we need to do this bit before we do the slime block bit, because otherwise the slime blocks are going to be sticking to our stairs. So I'm hoping... Whoa, lots of things happened there, didn't they? Blimey. Okay, there's a lot to process there. I think the problem was that these piston pushers pushed across too early, and then also the pulse length was too short for the pushers here to do their thing. So hopefully that should now all be fixed. And it is. Okay, that's wonderful. So now it is time to actually do the slime block bit. So that comes after all of this business. And I'm hoping that that should now all be functioning. I mean, I'd be amazed if it did, because this is the first time. No way. That is ridiculous. That is totally bonkers. So there we go. So all of our stairs have just been hidden away. So that's that side of the circuitry done. Now we just need to do the other bit, which is the retraction, which is a tiny bit more complicated, but not ridiculously so, to be honest with you. Right, let's try stage 1 of the retraction, which is going to start off with the slime blocks, because it has to be the opposite way round. So if we go like this... Yeah, that happened way too fast, and this redstone line is obviously not... No! How did I possibly think that that redstone signal strength was going to make it all the way over there? Now, the timing of this is actually going to be quite tough. Honestly, if things keep going right with this thing, I'm going to start getting worried, okay? Because something has to go wrong. Something has to go wrong today. Everything's gone right. Everything has worked first time. This is so ridiculous. This has never happened before. Come on now. I mean, there's no way that this is going to function first time. So this is the full slime block circuit. In a way, I'm kind of happy about that. I'm guessing I need a little bit more delay there. Yeah, probably just a tiny bit more. So let's try again. Nice, just quick repeater changes there. Sweet! Okay, so that's all functioned. Right, and then obviously those will then be pushed across, and bada bing, bada boom, we've got stairs. So the next thing that I've done is I have wired up this circuit. So this is the next thing that has to happen. And of course, our push across has to happen during this. So it's a little bit of... It's a tiny bit of, I guess, a tricky one. There's some timings involved here that are pretty sensitive. And I'm just messing around with these repeaters willy-nilly. I guess I should just give it a test. This is one that I'm nervous for. Okay, so we all know that this works. Ladies and gentlemen, there is a 3-wide hidden staircase. and it's beautiful to watch. God, those timings couldn't be more... There's barely a millisecond to spare in some of that. I'm going to make sure that I'm recording. I am recording. We've witnessed this firsthand. This all works. It all completely and utterly functions just perfectly. So I'm going to fill in all the blocks. In fact, you know what? I'm not actually going to use glass. We'll use quartz instead. And then we'll do the full demonstration. I can't believe this. I'm in total shock here. I thought the sandstone would just give a slightly better contrast. But this thing... Here it goes. It looks a little bit strange. But then suddenly everything happens all at once. And we end up with this. So there we go, we can run down to the bottom, and by the way, this is an infinitely expandable staircase, so you could just keep this in a straight line. A lot of redstone designs out there, they reach a point, and then obviously there's redstone underneath, so you kind of have to continue straight from there. But nope, this can go on forever if you wanted it to. And then of course, when we want to fold everything away, we just flick this lever here, and everything gets put back to being flush with the floor. Now obviously my lever, I mean, you know, you could use a completely secret activation device. You could use a redstone torch key, trident key, which was invented by Green. You know, there's all sorts of different hidden activation devices that you could use, but the lever is just for demonstration purposes. And to demonstrate it functioning, I love this thing. I'm so happy. I think this actually might beat the recent the recent vault door that we did for my favourite redstone contraption in a long time. The realistic elevator was pretty cool as well. I don't know, I've been loving the redstone contraptions I've been making lately. Anyway, I really do hope that you enjoyed this video. If you did, please hit that like button, and if you really loved it, then make sure to subscribe. But thanks for watching, guys. This has been Mumbo, and I'm out. I'll see you later. Oh, and filming channel stuff, link will be on the end screen. You know what to do.